Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, Lou's First Adventure in the Backyard. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Today's vlog begins with a moment that feels both ordinary and magical. The back door creaked open, sunlight spilled across the floor, and my little dog Lou peeked out like an explorer seeing the world for the very first time. His tail flicked upward, ears perked, and he gave me that adorable permission to proceed look that always melts my heart. The backyard wasn't new to the world, but to Lou, it was basically a whole new universe. The smell of morning grass, tiny insects humming around, the gentle breeze brushing over the trees. Each sound turned his head. Each shadow made him wiggle with curiosity. As soon as I nodded, Lou took one brave step forward, then another, and then burst into a full-speed trot like he had just been promoted from house puppy to professional backyard investigator. He sniffed everything. The old wooden fence, the patch of daisies, even the small rock that he acted like was the most suspicious object alive. Every discovery came with a tiny tail wag, a soft sneeze, or a happy hop that made me laugh behind the camera. Watching him explore felt like watching a child discover nature for the first time. Pure wonder, pure joy, pure Lou. While recording him, I noticed how he kept checking back on me, making sure I was still there. Even in the middle of his excitement, he wanted me in his adventure. That tiny gesture made the whole morning warmer. The backyard suddenly felt bigger, brighter, and softer because Lou was experiencing it for the first time. After the initial round of sniffing and observing, Lou's adventure escalated when he noticed something extremely suspicious, a fallen leaf wiggling in the wind. With the seriousness of a tiny guard dog protecting his kingdom, he lowered his body, stared at it intensely, and took a step forward. And then the leaf moved again. Lou jumped back, spun around, and barked exactly one tiny woof. The kind of bark that said, "I'm brave, but also not fully prepared for this negotiation." But the breeze kept blowing, lifting more leaves and sending them dancing across the ground. Suddenly, Lou was surrounded by what he probably believed to be a whole army of fluttering leaf creatures. Instead of retreating, he launched into a chaotic but enthusiastic chase. For several minutes, the backyard turned into Lou's personal action movie scene. He chased leaves. Leaves escaped. He chased harder. Leaves spun in unpredictable ways, leaving him dramatically confused. Sometimes he caught one and proudly paraded around with it, tail high like he'd just achieved a heroic victory. Other times he slipped, rolled, or bumped into a clump of grass. I couldn't stop laughing, not because he was clumsy, but because he was so genuinely alive in the moment. His happiness was simple, contagious, and beautifully unfiltered. When he finally tired out, Lou plopped onto the soft grass, tongue out, belly rising and falling as he caught his breath. The sun warmed his fur, and he looked up at me as if saying, "Did you see that? I fought bravely today." I sat down beside him, gently rubbing his ears while he leaned his whole weight against me. In that quiet second, with a few leaves still drifting by, the adventure slowed down into a peaceful rest. Two friends sharing a simple moment outdoors. Just when I thought Lou was done exploring, he suddenly stood up again, his nose twitching like a tiny radar. Without warning, he trotted toward the far corner of the yard, the place behind the tall tree where sunlight filtered through in golden patches. I followed him carefully, and when I came closer, I realized he had made a special discovery. A tiny burrow where a family of harmless garden lizards lived. They were quick, shy creatures, and the moment Lou's face appeared, they darted back into their hiding spots. Lou froze. His eyes widened. His brain, obviously, entered "what magical creatures are these" mode. He lay down quietly, front paws stretched forward, watching the entrance of the burrow with the patience of a detective on a stakeout. Occasionally, a small lizard peeked out, and Lou's tail thumped softly on the ground, as if greeting a new friend. This moment was different from the leaf-chasing chaos. It was calmer, more thoughtful, almost serene. Lou wasn't trying to bark or chase. He simply observed, fascinated, respectful of this tiny living world within his newly discovered territory. I sat with him under the tree, both of us silent, listening to the wind rustling the branches above. It was one of those rare, peaceful scenes that feel like they belong in a quiet documentary. Nature, curiosity, companionship, and gentle understanding. When the lizards went completely still, Lou finally stood up, stretched, and nudged my hand with his nose. It was time to go home. The adventure had been perfect. Watching Lou explore the backyard for the first time reminded me how important it is, even as adults, to let ourselves rediscover the world with fresh eyes. Lou didn't overthink anything. He simply followed his curiosity, moved toward what interested him, and stepped back only when he needed to. In many ways, this tiny adventure reflects the life we're living today, busy, rushed, full of responsibilities, yet still sprinkled with small, meaningful moments we often overlook. From Lou's experience, there are a few lessons we can apply to real life. First, don't be afraid of new spaces. Whether it's a new job, a new skill, or a new challenge, approach it the way Lou approached the backyard, with excitement rather than fear. Second, allow yourself to play and enjoy simple things. We tend to forget that joy doesn't always come from big achievements. Sometimes it comes from chasing leaves, or in our case, taking a break, walking outside, or enjoying a quiet moment alone. Finally, stay connected to the people who matter. Just like how Lou looked back at me during his adventure, we also need reminders to look back at the people who support us and share our journey. Life feels lighter when we explore it together.